Our first set of guests on the specialties hotline are pretty excited because they got some huge news last Friday, like everybody else. Joining us are Pittsford Mendon senior guard forward Lexi Green, a basketball player, and Penfield hockey player. He's the senior forward, Nathan Sobko. Let's go ladies first. Lexi Green, before we talk about this amazing tweet you set ablaze, congratulations. It's been a few days. Did you think for a while that it was never going to happen? That you were not going to have a senior season?
Yes, definitely. It just felt like it just was dragging on for a long time, and it was kind of just hard to keep hoping because it wasn't really looking too good, and we weren't getting very many updates about it either. So I definitely was surprised when the news came out.
Nathan, same question.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised too, but I feel like we never lost hope in knowing there was a season there. There definitely was that possibility of it getting canceled completely, but we always thought there was just going to be something at least.
So both of you too, and maybe we'll go Nathan, Lexi this time. That last season ended abruptly for both of you. Nathan, with the overtime loss in sectionals, and Lexi, waiting for something that never happened with the trip to regionals. How much does the end of last season, sit with you and motivate you to do everything you can to see this season through as far as it can go?
Yeah, it's really huge. Losing to McQuaid in overtime last year was devastating. So our team has spent 12 weeks in the weight room together, and that's actually where we got the tweet that we had a season. We were all in the weight room together, so it's kind of nice to celebrate that all together.
What was the reaction like? Take us into that room.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The music was blasting. So like in this pandemic world, you don't get to spend many events together anymore. So that was really special to spend that with my teammates.
Lexi, you've had an amazing career. You've won 4 Section 5 titles. You won a state title, federation title as a sophomore, right? Sophomore year. Your junior year was cut short last year as Mendon was trying to go for another state title to repeat. Where were you when you found out that the governor had changed his mind?
I was in my house. I had gotten it was through like a DM. It was super weird, and I got like a notification that said that I think that the governor just overturned his decision. I didn't believe it at first because it's just crazy that it actually worked, everything that we had been doing. And it was just, I had to like confirm with a bunch of people, and like my coach, we were calling people to make sure it was true. So I think for us, it was kind of like we were in disbelief. Like when I got the message, I wasn't like, oh yay, this is so exciting, because I wanted to make sure it was true before I was excited about it.
Well, let's show our listeners, Steve, or our viewers, I guess, this tweet. Here's the tweet she sent out last Friday. This is the day that Governor Cuomo announced his decision. Now, it says this: I'm a senior student athlete who plays basketball at Pittsford Mendon. If we have a season, I pledge to hold myself/team accountable to all COVID safety protocols. I challenge athletes to share this message and a photo if you feel the same. And then you tag Governor Cuomo and Dr. Zayas from the state, the hashtag Let Us Play. Tell us one tweet where this came from, Lex.
Where it came from?
Yeah.
Well, we had been working with my coach, obviously, and then the boy, Danielle Stroff, who's going to be another captain, and then Jacob Shatters from the boys' side, and Coach Nally. And we had just kind of been brainstorming for a while. We had been doing meetings with state legislators just to try and see what our next steps could be and where we need to go, what we can do to help the cause. And we came up with this idea for just a message to get out there to which a bunch of different students could send so they see how important it is to everyone. And we ended up on a tweet because it was the quickest way to gain traction, which ended up working out pretty well. And so then we just we had to shrink down the message, and I decided to tag a bunch of different people so it got the word out, and to share a photo so it's more personal to the people that are seeing the tweet. And then I ended up just texting a few friends that I had around the state, so I made sure they saw it, and it just kind of went from there.
So Steve, I did that story several years ago called One Bad Tweet. This is one amazing tweet. And she did something, Steve, that was really smart. She tagged people from around the state that she knew that were her teammates with AAU teams and people you knew. that was really strategic too. Steve, this is a great use of social media.
It's perfect. And Lexi, just if you could kind of follow up on the reaction. And now there's out of market newspapers are doing stories on you, and athletes in Michigan are picking up the rallying cry. And it really is a great example of advocacy and making a difference. And I know you didn't intend to become that, but you did. And how do you feel about that as this has played out?
It's crazy. It's super cool to see when all the tweets are rolling in, like all of the athletes from around the state tweeting from all different sports, from basketball to hockey to football to baseball to even lacrosse. Like we had spring sports. And just because it really showed how much like having a season and how much like these sports mean to people. And even like the fact that it's in Michigan now is just crazy. And I think it's really cool to also see the different pictures and how much everyone really needs this right now to be able to play.
So Nathan Sobko, you're kind of the guy that leads by example, and maybe more now with words, but you have set a good example all the way. What do you think and feel when you see that tweet, and how may you use that to help keep your teammates accountable?
Yeah, I will definitely share this with all my teammates. I am a captain of the team, so I feel like following all these protocols will help us all, like not just our team, but all the other teams across the state, try to keep our season going.
We thought all along, and Steve and I talked about this on the show, how we thought hockey was doable. You have the masks on. I hear there's other protocols they're going to put in place about you got to wear a plastic shield. Do you have to wear a mask? Do you know, Nathan?
So there's two options. There's one that's a clear shield that goes like at the bottom of your cage if you have a clear cage, or you can have a mask that's like the normal mask, but they also make a mask that's for hockey specifically that attaches to your helmet, which this is the one I have.
We're talking with Lexi Green and Nathan Sobko, two local athletes who are excited like all the rest to get the winter sports season underway. Lexi, how have you been able to keep in contact with your teammates during this? I know some schools and teams have done some workouts that were safe and socially distant with masks on. What have the Vikings been doing to try to stay sharp for getting one ring for the thumb?
So it was we didn't get the okay for a while to be able to do like social distance workouts. So up until that point, we had been doing Zoom workouts over the summer and like through quarantine, just so we could like stay in touch and be together. But then recently, I think it was in November, we were allowed to start doing social distance practice with masks and like no contact. So yeah, we've been doing that.
And Nathan, how about the Patriots? I know that you mentioned 12 weeks in the weight room, but the travel season, I know some folks went out of state to play. Have you been able to get on the ice with your teammates and start building momentum for this run?
Yeah, definitely. A few weeks ago, we got the okay to start on ice practices with a bunch of other kids who haven't made the team yet, but are looking to try out for the team this year. So that was definitely a good step in the right direction.
Lexi, you're going to Cornell. You committed. Congratulations on that. You came up to varsity as an 8th grader into a very established program. What was that like for you? What advice would you give to another youngster who comes up onto an established team like that on how to fit in? And you came up as an 8th grader for sectionals, I think, ended up playing in the state Final Four. What advice would you give to a youngster about getting thrown into a situation like that?
Well, that was crazy, that whole experience, but it was awesome. My team was the best. We had awesome captains, awesome leadership. So I'd say really just take it all in and learn from your elders, because that's really what has helped me. Is they were such awesome leaders on the court and off the court, and I really just listened to what they had to say and just really just take it all in. So that would be my main advice.
Nathan, you also play baseball, and last spring you didn't get that season, and it was really down to the wire with hockey this year. I'm just wondering, how you look at life and appreciate, and what it's going to be like on Monday when you show up in the rink, and I know it's a tryout, but you're going to be back with the guys that you enjoy spending so much time with.
Yeah, just take one day at a time, really. Just really savor the moment, because since I'm a senior this year, this is my last year playing hockey. Hopefully I'll get to play in college, but take every shift like it's your last shift.
Lexi, why Cornell, and what do you want to major in?
Well, Cornell it had everything that I wanted. Super fortunate to be able to go there. Just the academic part was my main, like what I was looking for the most, and when I was doing the recruiting process. So obviously Cornell is a great choice for me. And I really like the coaches. I spent a lot of time talking to them on the phone through quarantine over the summer, which was really exciting. And I am majoring in industrial labor relations, the ILR school.
And Nathan, your next step, do you have it figured out yet for college?
Yeah, I've got accepted to a few colleges, still waiting on a few, but I plan to major in business management.
Very nice, very nice. Similar question that Steve asked Nathan. Lexi, what has this whole thing taught you? It's a big, broad question, but getting sports back, getting through this pandemic, anything you'll take away from this significantly?
Yeah, I think kind of what Nathan was saying, just really just not take anything for granted. And it's such a general statement, but it's just really true. And I think that I really learned that a lot over the past year with our season getting cut short, like spending time with my teammates and coaches and my friends, and just even not being able to see family from out of town. So I say that's the main thing. And then through this whole movement with basketball, I think it really showed me that like you can make a difference, like if you try, and like if you like listen to what people have to say and take advice and go with it. And I think that was a really cool lesson to learn throughout all of this.
And the season, Nathan, is going to be a sprint. It's not a marathon. It starts February 1st, and sectionals have to be over by March 14th. When you look at, the team and everybody being glad to be back there. Dr. Zayas just tweeted this today, though. Getting the yes is just the beginning. What's it going to take, for everybody to live up to the pledge that Lexi started and have you guys make it to March 14th, or as far as your season can go?
Right. Yeah. It's going to take a buy-in from everybody. Like if you get diagnosed with COVID, you're pretty much out half the season. So that's a major fall towards our own team. So definitely a buy-in by everybody.
I hadn't thought about that. You're right. You're down for half or third, almost a third, maybe a third of the season, really, depending on how far you go in sectionals. But and I think they're going to have to compact sectionals, Steve. I don't know if they could really do an open tournament this year. We'll see what Section 5 says. These are fluid. As we record this on Wednesday, it might change. We might know more information by Saturday. I can tell you this. The Mendon Vikings is going to be the team to beat again because you got 4 starters back. Is it Anya Coleman? Is that her name, the guard?
Anaya, yeah.
Anaya, Daniel Stroff, Bridget Miller, and Lexi Green, who averaged almost 20 points a game last year, became the 10th scorer in Mendon history to reach 1,000. Thank you so much for making some time. I'm so happy that social media really, again, I don't think this Cuomo was hanging on Lexi Green's tweet here that turned the whole tables, but I do think somehow, some way, some of the noise that was created on social media got in front of the governor, and he looked around and said, all these states are doing it and we're not. We got to let them try it. And I think that was a result of something great from social media. So, Nathan, congratulations. You get yourself a senior season. Stay healthy, young man.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you and the Patriots.
Thank you.
And Lexi Green, hope to see you back on the court again. Just not raining too many threes against my Irondequoit Eagles again if you get to face them. All right?
Yes.
Steve, this is why we do this show, to see kids and smiling faces, and we can't wait to see them in the competitive arena once again. So as we head to our first break, I'll tell you about one of our great sponsors, Steve. It's Bath Fitter. They sponsor our show because they believe in high school sports, what they can do for young athletes. And I know what Bath Fitter can do for you. If you want to remake your bathroom in one day, they can do it in one day, folks. Check out what they can do online, bathfitter.com. It's a great company. They're one of the top volume folks and companies in the country for Bath Fitter. And bathfitter.com can get you where you need to be. 617-0007 is the number. Take our first break. You've been listening to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, brought to you by Salvatore's Pizza.